as I said, there are lots of different color spaces. Here's a nice picture of all these different ways of representing these things. By the way, notice the one here at the bottom left, red, blue, green, red, green, blue. We'll talk about that one in a minute. All right, but let me show you what my favorite. In fact, I'll put up two of them. So which one's my favorite? Well, I think I already gave it away. I told you that the problem with this one here is that the entire top surface is white. And so here's the question. How much can I change the color of something that's white? Answer, not at all. White is white is white. So that's why I like this idea of having this peak on the top. So that is, you can't get far away from it. Likewise, same as on the black. And you spin around, the double cone gives you the hue, and as you get further out, they call it chroma. I actually like calling it saturation better. It doesn't really matter too much. But the idea is I tend to think of it as a cone. And what's important is when you realize that it's a cone, you realize that if you're comparing, and we'll get to this in a minute, if you're comparing the hue of two different patches, if they're very dark, the hue doesn't mean anything. If they're very bright, the hue doesn't mean anything. And that's very hard to see on the cylinder representation, but it's very easy to see on the cone. Now, of course, what is the color space that we all know and love, or at least know, right? Which is the one we know best? Well, it's the RGB space, right? Where basically you've got a cube where, in sort of at the back corner where things are 0, 0, everything's black. If you move down the red axis, it turns red. If you move to the green axis, it turns green. Add them together. What's red and green make? Yellow. Why? Cones. And if you bring the whole thing up, it looks white. And what's cool is if you take that cube and you sort of pull the white corner to the top and the black corner to the bottom, right? So in fact, I have sort of a picture here. Just think about that. It would be almost like a double cone. Not quite. It would be kind of a lumpy double cone with sharp points. But the idea is white would be at a point on the top, black would be at a point on the bottom, right? And then you would have chroma as you went around. And that's why my preference is the double cone.